sales is not rocket science, but doing it really damn well is very difficult because of how much you need to work on you in order to fulfill your potential. Don't learn something new while you're being told no. If you're going to win a deal, you should know exactly why you're going to win it. If you're going to lose it, you should know exactly why you're going to lose it. It is never a problem for my clients if they lose a deal. Well, for the most part, it's not a problem if they lose a deal. It becomes a problem when they lost a deal for a reason they didn't expect. Because that almost always means that they did not follow the process properly. I mentioned that I was a teacher for about 10 years. I taught history, I taught government, and I led retreats. The retreats were really pretty incredible and life-changing for me as a facilitator of the retreats with these young men. And eventually I left teaching for a variety of reasons and got into sales. And I had done, theater in the past and like comedy and stuff like that. And so being on stage, talking to people was never really an issue for me. In fact, talking to people was one of my biggest weaknesses because I only spoke to people and I never gave them an opportunity to speak at all. And the wild thing to me is when I transitioned into a sales role, the number one source of anxiety became talking to people. Get to the no. Get to the no as quickly as you can. And the reality is, when we talk about being reasonable, the plague that I see in my clients is them telling me why they didn't ask a question they needed to know the answer to, and then telling me I didn't want to make them uncomfortable. I didn't want to make them uncomfortable. Bullshit. You didn't want to be uncomfortable. So when you talk to people, make sure that you're diving into what their pain actually is. That is how you get leverage. And guess what? In sales, you want leverage. You don't want leverage to manipulate people or to sell them something they don't need. But you want leverage to get to the point where if they need it and can afford it, you can provide them the solution. That's why you need to get leverage. And you get that leverage by figuring out what their problem is and by asking them questions and continuing to dig in. People don't trust their therapist because of how much they know about their therapist. Right? That's what the silly diplomas on the wall are for. They trust their therapist because of how much their therapist knows about them. That's where trust comes from. When you open up to someone, you inherently begin to trust them. Why? Because they better be trustworthy because you just opened up to them. Get the information you need and drive it toward a problem and toward pain. We have to change. And the greatest power a sales professional can adapt is expanding our capacity for change, personally and professionally.